I'll be recording this session for people. Today, we are going to talk about the secrets of body language, which are used by the rich and successful people across the world to move ahead in their lives. And these are secrets which we have found out from a lot of research and reading a lot of books. This is information that I'm going to give you. Now, many of the times it happens that how we dress and how we walk actually have a meaning. And you will feel in life, sometimes you see some leaders, some exceptional people, they get so much of success without doing taking a great action. They are like their success is effortless. So how do these people make it? Majorly, most of the times it becomes with their communication. There's one quotation about communication. It states that the difference between you right now and where you want to reach in your life is the difference of how well you communicate. So if you communicate well, definitely you will be able to reach and achieve all those heights that you've always wanted to. Now, if you look at communication, communication begins even before you have opened your mouth. That is a great particular knowledge which many of us do not know. That even before we have opened our mouth to speak the first word, we have already communicated about who we are and what we are to the person who is on the other side. In fact, that is 93%. So 93% of the times, people are able to make a judgment about ourselves, even when we have not spoken a single word. That is so powerful. This topic is body language. Now, there was a study which was done in 1936 by Dr. Albert Mehrabian, and he talked about the concept of body language. And he said that body movements, right? Your eye movements, your gestures, the way you stand, the confidence tone that you have, the tonality of your voice is 93%. The words that I'm speaking right now to all of you is only 7%. What matters more is how I'm delivering that to you, and in what body language, with what facial expressions, with what particular gestures, and what particular posture. That matters a lot. In fact, that is the reason why it said that the first impressions matter a lot. It's always said that you do not get a second chance to make a good first impression. Why do they say that? Because it is important. First impressions do matter. In fact, if you look at interviews in the first 90 seconds, they decide about your candidature. You would not have even opened your mouth to speak your first answer, but the interviewer has decided about your candidature, whether or not to select you. How does it happen? It happens because of body language. So if you're not working on your body language, it's going to make a dent in your life. Not a positive one, but a negative one. Now, what are the things that matter in body language? What matters is the posture. What matters is the gesture, and what matters is the facial expressions. Now, what are these individually? Let us go one by one. So, first one is posture. The posture is very, very important. Many of the times, because of our bad habits, because of our particular habit of leaning forward, we slouch and we generally cower down. That is not good for anybody. The right posture is the one on the right hand side, the top, the extreme right, that is military posture, is the best particular posture that you can always be in, because that signifies confidence. When your head is held high, you're not lowering down. When your neck is visible to the other person, when your head is held high, and when your chest is in the right direction, it's your spinal cord is erect. That is the position that you must always carry if you want to portray a good particular message from your particular side. Now, there's a particular saying which is very interesting. It says that the man's chest must enter the room before his belly. So before your belly enters, your chest has to enter. That has to be your particular posture. And if you can maintain that posture, people are going to look at you as a confident individual, as somebody who is a leader. Now, what is gesture? Gesture is the way we use our hands to communicate. So if I'm locking my hands, and if I'm not using my hands a lot, that will be a very stiff particular position from which I'm operating, not good for impressing people and making an impression dent in their lives. But what is important is that you should be expressive, and you should be actually using your hands to convey the emotions. Many of the times, what I'm saying right now, whatever I'm saying right now, I'm trying to highlight through my hand gestures. I'm trying to underline those things through my hand gestures. And those things are becoming very clear in your mind. Why it's very important is because most of us try to understand. We have covered that in in the 3-day workshop also, that most of us are visual creatures, right? We see things visual, we learn things visually, we understand things visually. So right now when I'm using my hand gestures to interact with you, many of the things are getting clear to you, right? Many of the things are getting visually clear to you, and that is more important. Not just from my words, but also from my action, from my hand gestures, things are getting clear. In fact, a study done by Vanessa D. Edwards, she found out that a leader in the TED Talks uses his hands more than 400 times, more than 600 times in an 18-minute speech. If you use your hand gestures, if you use your facial expressions, if you use your posture properly, 600 times the hand gestures were used, and those people were called good leaders. Those particular TED Talks have been watched multiple number of times, in millions of views. But the other talks have not been watched. Gestures are very important when you are communicating, and you should always have an open gesture where your palm is actually facing upwards. That is how your palm should be. So these are important particular things that you should all be mentioning, using. Now, how to do it right? There are some basic things that you should be doing. Now, the biggest obstacle, most of us, we have the habit in today's date, it's very difficult to actually maintain it, because we know that smiling is important. We have read it so many places that we tend to give a plastic smile to everybody, and that is where people just understand the truth about us, and that is not good. So what you have to do is you have to actually ensure that your fake smile is changed with a crow feet smile. So when you smile from your heart, when the smile is coming from the heart, it's said that on your eyebrows you just have a crow's feet design over here. So if you can smile in that particular way, people will be looking at you as genuine. Don't give your plastic smile to people. It's not good. Now, in the book, Leigh Londes, in this particular book, How to Talk to Anyone, talks about another concept of how you can impress people through your body language is through the concept of eye contact. Eye contact is very, very essential. Right now, I'm looking at the laptop camera for the last 5-10 minutes. There is only one reason, because I want to establish a personal connection with you. When I look at you, you feel that I'm connected to you, and you're able to understand my voice or maybe understand my words in a proper way, because eye contact is important. What kind of eye contact? It cannot be just any kind of eye contact. It has to be a sticky eyes or an epoxy eyes eye contact, where I'm trying to make you feel that this conversation could not have happened if I don't look at you, right? I'm making you feel important, that yes, you are very, very important in this entire discussion. So when you make the other person feel that I cannot remove my eyes from you, that is the level that you should be maintaining. Only when you are interacting, not always, but only when you're interacting, the eye contact should be that particular way. It should make the other person feel important. It should make the other feel that you are listening and you are contributing in the entire discussion. Now, what is also important is that you maintain your open body language. It should not be closed. The more you close your body, the more it is difficult for the other person to accept you as a friend, as a particular friend in that particular sense. Now, what is also important is that you open your palms and keep your head high. So do not use these particular positions on the left hand side. You should always be occupying more space. Your palm should be open, your head should be held high, and chest should be erect, your spinal cord should be erect. These are some common basic things which you can do to ensure that you are able to cast a very good impression. Now, this is the lady whom I was talking about, Vanessa D. Edwards. She says that it's very easy to spot a leader. So many of the times you find that there are some people who are there in a particular party, in a particular meeting, and some of the people are getting more respect automatically. They're not doing anything great, but they're getting some amazing respect from all the members in the group. And that is the concept of captivate and cues that she has written. We send signals to people, and these signals are caught by the subordinates, and they understand who the leader is. It's very easy to spot a leader, according to Vanessa D. Edwards, and she says that it's inherited in our DNA. So sometimes when we just by looking at the faces of these leaders, you'll be able to understand that yes, he or she is a leader by the confidence in their eyes, by the head held straight, by the body pose that they are posing. So it's how is it possible? How can we throw those signals in the right particular proportion, so that the other people feel that we are leaders and they give us that respect which we actually deserve. How can we do that? In fact, it is said that people will move around a leader just like the planets revolve around the sun, provided the leader exudes the charm through his body language. So you have to exude that charm. You have to exude the small cues and signals so that others can read you as a particular leader. So what are important? What are the things important if you want to showcase yourself as a leader in any particular situation, be it an interview, be it a particular presentation, be it a particular public speaking assignment? How do you portray yourself as somebody who is a leader? You have to take more space. That is number one. Then you are you convey that you are an alpha male, that you are somebody who is important. A lion takes up more space, right? He takes more space, so you have to take more space. A king, if you look at the way he sits on his throne, he takes more space, so you have to show that particular signal. Leaders show it, and if you can show that in your particular way of communicating, in your particular way of behaving, in your particular way of conducting yourself, you have a favorable impression. The second one is the high level of testosterone. Now, testosterone is a particular chemical which is found majorly in males and also to a certain extent in females. But this is one hormone which signifies your confidence. It signifies that you're high status, somebody who is born to be a leader and not a subordinate, and the way they carry themselves. So, three things are very, very important. Now, if you look at, there was a study which Vanessa did, and she found out something different, different to the contrary belief. We generally feel that people who are in the leadership profile, they smile less. They smile less, they do not smile more. So leadership profile, yeah, you have been always told throughout your life that you have to be smiling on the regular basis, but that is a subordinate behavior. A leader will not smile regularly, he'll smile only when it is required, right? So that is one concept which is contrarian to the normal perception. The second one, they have high vocal power. Their voice is voice is loud, its pitch is high. What actually happens, if you are a leader and when you open your mouth in a meeting or in a group setting, people have to listen to you. If you do not have the voice clarity, if you do not have the vocal power, people will not be listening to you. In fact, in body language, 33% of your communication is through your vocal tonality. Your confidence is shown through your vocal tonality. Very, very important. So try to build on that. Try to have a vocal tonality which is powerful. The third one is the eye contact. Most of the times we feel that the leader will be maintaining eye contact with people on a regular basis. That is what we said, right? Sticky eyes. But on the contrary, sticky eyes is not good for a leader. A leader has to ensure that only when he's talking, only when he's interacting with the other person, he's maintaining that eye contact. Otherwise, not. Otherwise, he's just trying to avoid as much as is possible. He's trying to maintain as little eye contact as is possible. That is a leadership trait. Now, also what you can find out is they move less, they are non-reactive. If you look at the leaders, if you look at people who are in the right particular positions, who are smart, who are effortless, they are non-reactive. Look at James Bond. Irrespective of all the tensions that he has in his life, he has gone through a lot of problems. The villain is absolutely over him, all over him, and still he does not show his reaction. That is the sign of a leader. So you have to, even if you have to look on the left hand side, you do not turn your entire head like that. You do not nod a lot. Do not move more. You move less, and you move in a particular slow fashion, and that is a sign of a leader. That is what the studies say, according to the body language experts. Now they nod less. So nodding is basically a particular signal that I agree to your thoughts. A leader will not agree to everything that is happening out there. So what he does is he nods less, he moves his body less comparatively, and that signifies that you have something to get approved from me. I don't have to come to you, and they take more space. So look at the way this particular gentleman is sitting. He's taking more space because an alpha male, somebody who is a leader, will generally have more. He will ooze out confidence. He'll be just talking about more and more of confidence from his side, and that is why he will take more space. Now, in the entire conversation, we sometimes forget that what is important is the audience. Now, audience is the real hero in the entire conversation. Wherever, if you're having a one-to-one conversation, if you're having a one-to-many conversation, whether you're talking to one to one or we are talking 1 to 2,000, it does not matter. Your audience is the hero. Your audience does not want to know how great you are. You do not want to know how great I am. You want to know how can the information that I'm giving you can be helpful for you. So you are my hero as of now, and this entire presentation which has been made keeping you in mind. Only then I can succeed. Now, it happens that the audience will start zoning out. They will start moving into different directions. They'll start moving into their mobile. It's a highly distracted world today. So what is ideally to be done over there is basically two things you've already been doing. The one is eye contact that I have been trying to maintain with you throughout, and I've also been moving my hand gestures, and I've been trying to make some facial expressions here and there, just to convey the message, just to convey my emotion behind these words. Apart from that, sometimes when you find that the audience is moving away, it's just going outside of the window, they're just looking outside the window, they're not connected with your words, you have to disrupt. You have to tell something of a statistic which they do not know. You have to raise a question, or maybe you can just pinpoint. Like, suppose in this room, if I find people moving out, I can just call some of your names, and I can ask what's happening. Did you connect with me? So what that will do is people will just get alerted, because otherwise they're zoning out. They're moving into a different zone. So these are important. See, the final point that I wanted to make is that body language is a superpower, and you have to get used to get it ahead in your life. If you want to get ahead in life, if you want to become famous, if you want to become rich, if you want to become successful, if you want to achieve all that you have seen in your life as dreams, then you have to use your body language, because this speaks more than what you speak. So that is what I had for today. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, I'm ready to take them right now. Over to you, Yamshi.